Hello, my name is David Faure and I work for KDAB. In this second video of the series about CMake, I would like to tell you why Qt6 switched from QMake to CMake. Some issues with QMake were that there were very few people actually working on it, just a few developers from the Qt company, almost nobody else. It was quite difficult to implement configuration checks with QMake. You know, when you compile a project and it says, I found this library on the system, it has to have this version and so on. These things were not really easy to do with QMake compared to other systems. It was also rather suboptimal for very large projects because it was based on recursive make. It works like this. You go into a subdirectory, it will build that subdirectory only. It might parallelize the compilation of the CPP files, but then it has to wait for the linking to happen before moving on to the next subdirectory. Whereas projects that don't use recursive make, but have a global view of the project, they can start building the second subdirectory at the same time as finishing the first one. Like during the linking of the first one, we can already start compiling the second one. So that's why recursive make is not as good as non-recursive make. Also, QMake was rather Qt specific. It was something that was developed specifically by the Qt developers for Qt programs, which made it quite limited in its usefulness compared to more generic C++ build systems. Also, some important features are undocumented in QMake. For instance, if you want to have debug symbols in a release build, which is useful for profiling, then you have to use config += force debug info, and that is not something that's documented anywhere. It gives me something to talk about when I do debugging and profiling trainings, but it would be good to have all of the features of a build system to be documented. And QMake was also rather challenging for cross-compilation on embedded projects when you need to have some code compiled for the host, some code compiled for the board. It's quite challenging to do that with QMake. And now I would like to tell you more about CMake. CMake is an industry standard for C and C++ projects in terms of build systems. It actually supports many other languages like Fortran and CUDA and Objective-C and so on. It's also supported natively nowadays by many IDEs, not only Qt Creator, but also Visual Studio, Xcode. So that makes it a very good choice for many projects, not just Qt projects. It has many active contributors. I myself contributed a little bit to it. KDE developers as a whole, we contributed quite a lot to CMake over the years. And more recently, even the Qt developers have contributed to CMake when adopting it for Qt6. For instance, to add support for multi-configuration Ninja builds, for precompiled headers, and for Jumbo builds. All of this was contributed by Qt developers. It's an open source project. It also has a company behind it, the company called Kitware. They are known as the makers of VTK, and they are also the ones behind CMake. CMake out of the box provides many configuration checks. That means if you want to look for the Z library or libpng on your system, it has a module for that, which makes it really easy to use. And of course, you can add your own find modules for other libraries as you want. It's quite fast for building projects because it, as we talked about, it doesn't use a non-recursive make. It doesn't use recursive make, it's actually non-recursive. So it has a global view of the project and it can parallelize it as much as it can. And that makes it faster even when using make. And if we want to make the build even faster, we can use Ninja, which is also supported out of the box by CMake. So those are a number of reasons why Qt6 switched to CMake. And actually at KDAB, we helped with the migration of Qt itself, starting with Qt base to CMake. And that gave us some insights on the way that CMake is used inside of Qt. For your own projects, you can choose whether to stay with QMake or switch to CMake starting from even now in Qt5 or later with Qt6. And we can help you with that. We have experience with migrations from other build systems to CMake that happened over the years. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we will look at some CMake code, an example called the Hello World example with Qt and CMake.